This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission. This is Church of Uganda Family TV. Enriching lives. Regulated by the Uganda Communications Commission.
If you suspect any suspicious thing, report to the police.
Of course, there will always be penalties for non-compliance.
So it's more of a ministry.
It is the duty of police to keep law and order.
Issues at hand. Issues at hand.
A very good morning once again. We welcome you to Issues at Hand here on Church of Uganda Family TV. And of course today we are looking at, we know that the countdown is on, especially for the finalists, the candidates, the P7, Senior 4 and Senior 6. I went to visit my little sister and she told me, we are left with less than a month. And I was like, how do you count your time? No, we have less than a month to complete Senior 4. So she was excited. But I mean, the countdown is on. This reminds us that the countdown is on. UNEB carried out registration. And so we want to see, to have an evaluation of the exercise in case we get issues of students who have paid registration fee but were not registered. How can they even check to see whether they were registered? But also, still there was a rumor, a headline in one of the papers that UNEB is going to start setting mock exams. And so UNEB on the 18th of July sent out a statement that was clarifying on this. Now we want to see since when do UNEB pick interest in setting mock exams. With us is Miss Musamba, Kalule, Jennifer, who is the principal PRO of UNEB. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
It's always a pleasure to be over here at Family TV. A very good morning to all our viewers out there. And I hope you all had a blessed weekend.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a while. We have a lot of questions.
I know. Yeah, it's always good to always be off the scene, and that when you come up, people ask the questions. That is good. But also you also need to do the kitchen work. Not everybody needs to know what you're doing in the kitchen.
Okay.
Yeah.
We only want to, you want us to sit at
with
the dining.
for serving, yes.
Okay. So we start from clarifying the mock issue. Pre-test, mock, I mean, these are things that came up and I think were misinterpreted that time when the executive director talked about this in a training that was in Chambogo. So, people came out and said, since when did UNEB start picking interest in mock?
I think even teachers must have been like,
exactly.
What is this? Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm happy to clarify on that. First and foremost, the mandate of UNEB is to conduct examinations at national level. That is at primary level, UCE, and secondary level, including UCE and USC. That is Senior 4 and Senior 7. Senior 6, and Senior 6. And that is at the end of cycle examinations. We do conduct the end of cycle examinations. Now, the mock examinations are done by school in it's part of their own preparations. It is not really the mandate of UNEB to do that. We already have too much. We didn't even get into that. However, what UNEB is doing pre-test for our items for the new curriculum. Like you are aware, the curriculum changed, and last time we did assess our first cohort of learners for the new lower secondary school curriculum, competence-based curriculum as we call it now. It's no longer, because it can't keep on being new and new forever. Yes. So now, being a new curriculum, it is we are required to keep on pre-testing. We did pre-test, I think 3 sets of pre-tests before these learners, before the first cohort of learners went out, sat for the examinations. And now that we are doing the second cohort of learners, we are also required to pre-test the items. First of all, to establish, are the learners familiar with these items? Because the approach changed, the way the questions are being asked has changed. We are now using scenario questions. Are they studying this with this approach in school? Are they being supported? Because that we don't just bang the learners. We don't want to have accidents. This is an education system. We transiting a whole generation to the next level. So all steps are being done to make sure we do what we are doing in the right way. So we need, with the pretest, which was done about 2 weeks ago, was to get feedback from the learners. What do they think about the sample question that we are setting out? Are we giving them enough time? Do they understand the questions? Are we using a language which speaks to them? Are they understanding the approach? Are they able to answer the questions the way we do expect? And then after that, that is going to inform us, first of all, our own items, how we are going to be able to set the questions, but also for the learners, not to shock them. I mean, because the assessment is not meant to fail learners. The assessment is meant to bring out the best of their abilities, to bring out their competencies, to show so and so Edwin is able to do X, Y, Z. So it's not like meant to fail our learners or something like that. So, and also to make sure that the system or the competence-based assessment is understood, but also accepted by our own clients, who are the students, and that's basically the whole idea. So when I talked to Matt, to the author of that article, and I asked him, Martin, what is this? And he's like, Jennifer, you see, you know how media operates, and he's like, we didn't have enough space for the word pretest. It is long, and mock means the same as pretest. And I'm like, Martin, these are two different things altogether. And the circumstances, of course, people know that mocks are done by students or something like that. So seeing that UNEB is going to start setting mocks was really shouting. But we want to say that no, we aren't going to do that. It's not our mandate. Schools are going to continue doing their own mocks the way they wish to do that. And then as what we are doing are the pre-testing, basically pre-testing the test items for the competence-based assessment. And according to management, it is something we're going to do over the years so that we keep on improving. We keep on improving. The first set of pre-tests we did was very helpful because it gave us, you can't sit in the boardroom and you get my point. So it helped us to keep on modifying and want to keep on modifying until we eventually get there. So it's a learning process for all of us, but also for the system, and we work hand in hand with the National Curriculum Development Center, who are the developers of the curriculum.
Okay. Now, moving away from that is clear. So, UNEB is only conducting pre-tests and not mocks.
And pre-tests are there. That is for the competence-based assessment.
Okay. So the other concern is about still something that UNEB issued within the same time, that there will be no more students, especially at P7 level, sitting their exams from town halls. Now they should be sitting their exams from schools that have center numbers. So isn't this okay? I think someone would really want to understand this whole arrangement of town halls and how it has been operating and what the new development is for UNEB.
Okay, thank you. The concept of halls was meant to facilitate adult learners, like Edwin here. Let's say you want to stand for elections and you realize you do not have the senior 6 certificate, or you did not get a certificate, and you want to get, or even senior 4. So you don't have time to go to the regular school. Because for a regular school to register you must have been in their system for at least 1 year, you know. So you can, but then you're like, I think I can actually do. I mean, you're an adult, you can read on your own privately as you also work, your family person and all that. So that was the whole idea about having the halls. And many people have actually benefited from that system. I meet so many panelists. Hey, by the way, I was one of your clients in Gulu Town Hall, in Iganga Town Hall. So the halls was set up by that time. The idea was to facilitate adult learners who needed to sit for their examinations but did not have to go to the regular system of going to school. However, with the competence-based assessment now, there is a requirement of continuous assessment, whereby a learner needs to be in school for at least 2 consecutive years to have so they can be continuously assessed, so that they can be assessed at school. That is a school-based assessment. So that means now the concept of the town hall can no longer work. You can't come right now, Edwin, and you say, I want to register for UCE right now, or for your SCE. You can the whole, because this lot, the current candidates of senior 6 are being assessed under the old curriculum. So for you SCE, yes, you can, although the deadline has passed. But yes, this year it was, so that we have the halls for senior 6 for the last time, tentatively for senior 6 right now. I don't want to say the last time, because I'm not a policy maker. The policy can change, but tentatively for that. But for senior 4, the whole concept has closed, because we expect you to have been in school continuously, to have the school-based assessment scores submitted to UNEB for the last 3 years, for the last 2 years at least. So you cannot just come and register as a private student. And this is now, of course, UNEB comes in at the tail end, but UNEB is implementing a curriculum. So the crafters, those who made the curriculum, for some reason did not factor in the concept of adult learners. That is something that I think as a system we need to get back to and see how do we accommodate our adult learners, because I think we want to keep encouraging them, and it's something we have raised to the ministry, and we leave it to them to come up with a policy on how to accommodate adult learners.
Okay, that is also clear. Now we get to the gist of our discussion, and that is you're getting into your season. It's just a month away.
According to your sister.
According to my sister. In fact, in her countdown, it's less than a month.
Oh my goodness.
She told me, I have less than a month.
Which class is the P7?
Senior 4.
Senior 4, okay. I love the excitement. Yeah, but well, she's partial, or maybe no, maybe yes. Okay, but anyway, it depends, yes.
But let us talk about, first of all, start from the registration process. How was it? The deadlines met, and what next for those that are cut out by the deadlines?
We have had, first and foremost, I want to thank the people who have been helping us. The people who work with our partners, whom we work with at the time of registration. Here we are talking about, like at the primary level, we work out with the local governments, so the district inspectors of schools, city and municipal inspectors of schools. They do help us a lot to register learners at primary level, and we really have good numbers at primary level registered. Then at secondary level, USCE and UCE, we work with people we call the area supervisors. These are heads of centers, head teachers in certain areas that we work with. Those are UNEB areas. But basically the parents, the teachers in those schools are very instrumental in ensuring that we register these candidates, because if a parent does not pay registration fee, the child will not be registered if they don't go to school or something like that. So we want to thank God for the support of everybody who has been part of this. We did begin registration I think it was in April when we did begin registration. It was a bit slow, especially at secondary level, mainly because of the concept of continuous assessment. Now, because we require the learners at senior 4 to register having submitted their scores for continuous assessment, it was quite slow. And then we also had to, our system was also working on putting in place a mechanism for ensuring that we capture both the scores for continuous assessment from senior 3 and then register these learners. It's quite a lot of data, so we had to keep on. They had to keep on do this patch, do this app, because it's an online application. We had to come up with a mechanism. So it's been kind of back and forth. Pre-testing eventually, like I've said, we are pre-testing in so many things, but eventually we were there. And then some schools were also finding it hard to submit the scores, even to compile the scores. So we also had to work around that. So we had to set up a call center to help the schools who needed to be supported. So that kind of put us back a little bit, but it was very helpful, because eventually we have all the learners learners, because we could not register a learner who did not have CS scores for continuous assessment. Now we're able to capture all the scores for continuous assessment. So like you had to first finish the first phase of continuous assessment and then come and register for senior 4, which actually worked out. So I can confirm that all the learners who have registered for this year's examination for UCE have submitted their scores for continuous assessment until senior 4 term 1. And on that note, I want to call upon the heads of centers and the teachers and all those who are responsible for registering candidates to make sure that when term 2 ends, kindly submit the scores for the learners for term 2, because without them still, you still have a hitch ahead. So we are asking that you submit the scores. When the term ends, please go ahead and submit the scores. So we had to kind of extend our deadlines in terms of normal registration. So our deadline for normal registration, I think, had to go on until the 15th of June. 15th of June, yes, that was the deadline for normal registration. And then we went on until the last set of registration was until 30th June, and then 15th July, and all that until the 31st of July. So as I speak right now, we have essentially closed registration officially. But if somebody has a burning issue or something, I'm not the head, I'm not the accounting officer, you can always come and, because it happens, there could be a justified reasons. I mean, those things always happen. At times you find that people, maybe they had to equate their results, and maybe in our own system we also delayed equating them. So time has come, we've closed, but now they have their equated results and they're saying, now I want to register. Those are some of those unique cases on a case-by-case basis. You can write to the chief executive, Mr. Odongo, and then using his discretion, he can allow you to register. But massive registration, we have closed.
So, meaning, besides such a circumstance, there is no, even when a parent says, my child, and all this, because we've had parents who assume that I don't want my child to register at this center, so they want. Now I'm reflecting on the other curriculum of ours, where a parent would say, my child has been studying from this particular school, but I don't want them to register from this center, so they are taken to a different school. Is it still possible in this new lower secondary school curriculum for a child to register from a different center where they have not been studying from?
Yes, it is still possible, because as long as you have the scores for continuous assessment submitted to UNEB. That is why we have that app. We have to make sure, regardless of whether you're studying from Family SS or UNEB SS or something, if you transfer from Family Secondary School and you choose to go to Namirembe Secondary School, if your scores for continuous assessment have been submitted, the system will be able to detect your scores, because our primary document we use is the PLE result slip. It is the PLE index number that we use. So we are able to track you as long as they were submitted. Challenge would come if they were not submitted. If they were submitted, we are able to track you and you should be able to transfer. So what you're doing, that kind of thing, the parent and you have, usually the challenge is the reasons for shifting. It may be reasons whereby the school doesn't want to release you for some reason. At times they can be like, this is our best candidate. Where are you taking them? We are expecting one of our best performers. We are not releasing them. That is one. That would be a good one. But the bad one would be when it's school fees issues and you're like, we are running away or something like that. That would be a bit tricky, because if this center, the family SS that is releasing you needs to give us, some cue, a code to show that this is proof that I submitted. We may need to get that or something like that. So, but once that is done, and then the school which is receiving you also needs to receive you and confirm, yes, we do have space for this learner and we are accommodating them. And that for the next phase, for the second term scores, for the first term scores, we are going to be responsible for submitting these scores of continuous assessment. Because according to the policy, without scores for continuous assessment, UNEB will not assess you. So at the point of registration, these issues have to be sorted out. So that at the end of the day, you don't reach there and say UNEB has refused to assess me or to grade me or something like that. So that's why we need to make sure at registration we do sort out all those issues.
I was somewhere in one of the districts in Greater Masaka, and I found there a parent sharing a scenario of her son being in a school X, And so the school says UNEB rejected his registration, and when the school tried to follow up, that you requested this person to come with their books, that they should come to UNEB with the student should come to UNEB with the books, with his books. So I wanted to understand more in which instance, because I think it was about still continuous assessment, where our marks were rejected, something like that. And they said the UNEB had not registered this student, and they requested them to bring, that the child goes to UNEB with his books. That's the explanation that's the explanation the head teacher gave to the parent. And so the parent was now like, since when did UNEB start asking for my child's books?
That must be one of those unique cases. I have not heard of that case. One thing for sure is that continuous assessment is quite a challenge, but we're trying to put in place mechanism to make sure that we get authentic scores in as much as it is possible. I've not heard of that specific case, but I don't know. So, UNEB is this other punching bag. Everybody who gets stuck anywhere for anything, they say UNEB, everything, UNEB, and at times you can't always respond to all that, and not everybody can come to UNEB, not everybody, and that's why we want to make sure we give people our toll-free lines. People call and consult. Ask us questions where you need to be supported, because at times people just keep on saying UNEB has said this. So we want to tell parents out there, please do not fear coming to UNEB, do not fear getting in touch with UNEB. UNEB is a public institution. We are paid by taxpayers' money. We are here to serve you. So if anybody is putting you in the box and telling you UNEB is using UNEB as a scapegoat, go ahead, kindly give us a call or something, confirm what they are telling you. Because at times they say things which, no, I'm not so sure anybody. With the bulk of work that we have, I don't see any CA officer asking for books of this child. Honestly, I am not so sure
that's something right. That puzzled me as well. I was like, since when?
So why didn't you call and ask yourself?
I was getting this information in second hand.
Yes,
that is
but
why
you
I didn't
verify also. But anyway, whichever way, you can get me those details. I hope the child registered at the end of that day, because
actually,
you see all those delays.
Before we separate, I'll make a call and find out.
Because if the child did not register, then that is post-mortem. That's far as I'm concerned. But let's hope that they are able to register eventually.
Okay. Because that is, I think, around May.
But the other thing that at times happens is the issue of flagged candidates, whereby somebody registered, the case you talked about, somebody registered at Family SS, and then they also go and register at Namirembe SS. Now, in our system, we can tell, because we use your POE result slip as the primary document. So you can say, how come Jennifer is registered twice? So you're going to end up being flagged, because we don't want to have double counting or whatever, something, and we don't know where exactly you are. We will flag you, and you end up being nowhere. Why we do that? We want you to come and confirm where exactly you want to be. So if Family SS is releasing you, they are going to try and say, we are releasing candidate 004 from our system, please register them in the school where they prefer to go. And then Namirembe SS will say, well, I'm taking up Jennifer, and now they're being given this index number, they're now candidate 96. We are taking them up, and we still have space to accommodate them. Because schools also have a maximum of candidature that they register while their centers, depending on the space available. So we find that maybe their maximum is 150, and then this is 150. This candidate is coming as 151. Then you cannot take you up. So you have to prove to us that you have your maximum level is 150, and this candidate is going to be 149. So you still have space to accommodate them. So where you have been flagged, that is okay, you're already in our system. All you need to do is to get a release letter from the school which is releasing you, and then get a confirmation letter, acceptance letter from the school to where you're going to finally register. Then we shall clear that up. But you need to come to our entries office, now sit in Chambogo, but at least you are in the system. But just come and clear so that we don't have double entries. Something like that. That's the idea.
Okay. So is it early for now to get the statistics of those that have registered Have you tallied them already or not yet?
We have provisional results,
Okay.
Provisional statistics
Okay.
as of the end of registration, and but this change after the cleaning up of the data. The cases like that I've told you, the ones which are flagged, the ones which have been registered twice or something. So our team does the cleaning up. So right now, what I have are and we call them provisional because they can say they are likely to change depending on the circumstances. So right now we find that we have a total of 307,000 candidates that have registered. That's 1,416,307 candidates who have registered at all the levels, at PLE, UCE, and USCE. And this is an increase. We found out we had an increase in candidature of 97,168. And in terms of percentage, we have a percentage increase of 6.9 or 7, call it 7.
From last year's numbers.
Candidature. Last year we had candidature of 1,319,139. That's the candidature we had last year at the O levels, even with the transitional candidates. So we have a percentage increase of 7%. Actually, even last year we had a percentage increase of 7%. The normal percentage increase has been between 3 to 4%. So this is kind of quite high, which is good for us because we want many more learners to be ending the cycle. So the more learners we have ending the cycle, the more that keeps us in job. But also we are sure that our learners are able to, to acquire the skills which are required at that level. So that's a good thing for us. Yeah, so that's the level. That's what we have in terms of candidature. And just to take you through, maybe at PLE, at PLE we have a total of 817,987 candidates who have registered for the primary leaving examination. And out of these, 589 are males, while 428, 398 are females. This basically means that 52.4% are females, while 47.6% are males. We have the females at that level more than the males. And then at senior 4, that is UCE, our candidature is standing at 431,847 candidates. That is both males and females. And out of these, 227,867 are females, while 203,980 are males. That means that at that level, the females still are more than the males.
Yeah.
We have 52.8% being females, while the males are at 47.2%. And then finally, the USCE. This is very exciting for us because there was a time when we were below 100 and we were like, what is happening at USCE? Now we have risen. We are at 166,464. This is really good for us, and we are very grateful to all those who are part of the system, who are helping many more of our learners continue in the system and also complete the cycle. So here we have the males standing at 93,603, and then the females standing at 72,861. So the female candidature here is at 43.8%, while the male candidature is at 56.2%, which is really, for us, this is very good. So we hope that we can have a continuous increment in the candidature at all the levels.
I think outstandingly what I've realized is that the female numbers are higher for PLE and UCE, something that wasn't so common very many years ago.
I think the females, especially at primary level, the females have always been actually last year, I think for females they've always been higher at PLE, and you see it's 50-50 usually. It's 50, actually it's been like 50.01, 49 point something, but now it is 52.8, which is a I don't want to say good thing because we don't want to say the boy child is in trouble or something. My boss keeps on saying the male gender is in trouble. The male gender. So actually that is now a wake-up call for all of us. I think we want to thank the Lord for the the equity programs for all our learners, for the females, but also for our children. We have to make sure that we encourage many more of the males. We don't want to have the males stay behind, because later on, especially for family, I'm happy I'm talking on family TV. Later on, it will be dangerous for our families. You don't want to have a man who is a husband who feels like they are lower, who have an inferiority complex because you have a degree and they do not have, because you did study more, maybe they didn't study or something like that. So for us as parents, for us who are in charge, as elders, we have to make sure that we pull up the male gender as well. We need to have it. We need to have equity. We need to have a balance between the females and the males. So we need to support the males also complete the cycle at the same rate, so we don't not have a big discrepancy.
Okay. So what factors would you associate the increase in the numbers of USCE to?
First and foremost, I think even for us as UNEB, we've had an increase in the number of centers. More people have asked for centers at USCE, because we can have many centers at at primary level, at UCE level, but also we have fewer centers at USCE. If you just look around at a glance, I don't know how many. Not all secondary schools offer USCE, or not all of them have centers for USCE, but we are having a continuous increase in the number, a continuous increase in the number of centers, which are a number of schools which are applying for centers at USCE. So that I think also makes it easier, because that means that more people are able to access the services at that level, at the lower level, really. Because if somebody is going to consider they have to walk a long distance to go just to attend school, and there's another option available, maybe they go for another option. But if the school is closer, then it's easier to also encourage them. So I want to think that's also one of the reasons is that, but also maybe also the sensitization. And I want to believe I do not have data on that, but I also believe that the promotion of the science subjects, because you find that we're having many more taking up the sciences. So I want to believe maybe that is part of it. And then maybe I don't know, but we think for us, as far as we are concerned, we know for sure we are having many more schools requesting for centers at USCE. So the increase in the number of centers at USCE is one of the facilitating factors as far as we are concerned. Yeah.
Okay. So having gone through the registration, what next on your roadmap? After, because the registration ended last Friday, last Wednesday,
Thursday, 31st.
Yeah,
okay.
31st Thursday. Yes.
Next on our roadmap is now we are going to be doing the data cleaning. We are going to clean the data. After we have cleaned the data, another critical thing right now is the display of the registers of candidates. We want, according to the Act, all the learners are supposed, or the schools are supposed to display the registers of learners to enable the schools, to enable the parents and the learners confirm, has my child been registered first and foremost? If they have been registered, now look at the correctness of the biodata. Look at the spelling of names. Are the names correctly spelled? The date of birth. We have circumstances whereby the names the dates can be interchanged. Let's say according to the computer setup. Let's say somebody who was born on 3rd May. They can be put that they were born maybe on March 5th or something like that. When it's been interchanged, the month and the year. That is very critical for you to make sure you confirm that. Look at the order of names. Jennifer Kalule Musamba and Jennifer Musamba Kalule are different people all together. That is why we ask for the birth certificate. For us adults, we've had issues. No one ever bothered about that. But going forward now, we want to make sure we have the correct things. All our children are having names. Make sure the birth certificate, the name, the order of names on the name, and then as you register your child, make sure they are all in tandem. They are all speaking to each other. So look at all those things. And then for the point secondary, the subjects that they have registered for, the codes, subject codes or something like that. Confirm all that. The schools, the choices of schools and all that. Now this detail is going to be at school. on the notes board, and schools are obliged to make sure they hang these registers at least 60 days before the examinations begin. And UNEB, after cleaning the data, we shall send back the registers at school. The schools are going to be able to access them on their portals, and they will be obliged to hang them. Then UNEB will also have an SMS option, whereby you can be able to you are able to go to the SMS option on your phone handset, put in, make sure you know the full index number of the child, of the candidate, put in a reg, that is REG, which is short of registration, leave space, put in the full index number of the child, of the candidate, and then send to 6600. In that way, you will be able to you're going to be able to get a notification and establish has your child been registered. Just in case they haven't been registered, that is now where the critical thing is going to be. In case they haven't been registered, they're going to tell you, go and check with your school. Please go to school and find out what, maybe it is an error or something like that. But maybe they actually haven't been registered. Find out where they registered. I'm hoping and praying that you have proof of payment, that you actually paid in time. So once you have the proof of payment, then you may have to open up a case at police. And because that is a criminal offense for the schools and for all of us in the sector. So we need to find out where exactly, what is the problem, and then come to UNEB, and we shall be able to establish. And those are the cases whereby even if they haven't been registered, but they paid in time before the 31st of July, then definitely we shall have to find a way of making sure that you get registered.
Okay, that is quite good. But I think parents should, especially parents, should be pivotal in this entire process, because when parents miss out, they'll be the ones crying when things turn the other way towards the end, when you're supposed to. Your child is supposed to sit for the exams, and then
you don't want to be in that category. Oh my God! I mean, even for the child, can you imagine you've been studying all this time, and then somebody's telling you cannot do your examinations? And for us now, spiritually, that is something we need to look at as Christians, because the enemy is trying to delay the destinies of our children. So we don't want that to happen. So actually, I keep telling parents, don't joke with the destiny of your child. The devil wants either to delay the destiny of your child, they want to divert them or something like that. They want to destroy them altogether, and we don't want that. And so as parents, as caretakers, we have to be effective custodians. Please be part and parcel of the teaching and learning of your child. Follow up to the last dots. Follow up to everything. Even the issue of names. Somebody Christine. Let's say Christine. Like somebody can just say to misspell the name for some reason or the other, and it can mean something else altogether. And once it's not corrected right now, it's going to end up being detrimental, especially the PLE, the primary document. The POE result slip is a major document for us. Realize that when somebody is registering for Senior 4, we ask for the POE result slip. So if a mistake is made at the POE level later on, and no one detects it, somebody is going to continue. There are people whom you realize their names are spelled and they're like, that is how it was misspelled. Because it was misspelled, you are forced to stay with that mistake continuously. So please make sure you verify the document, because once it is we have correct data at PLE level, it's going to continue to UCE and to SCE, and then we shall eliminate all those mistakes. So it is very critical for us to make sure we are involved. Let's get once the registers have been hanged, please go to school and hang, just like you go there to see if your child has been given a position. We all go there to check on the notes board. We are all looking up like this. Please go there now to check if the data which has been submitted is correct. And you can't get that in the SMS. Whatever SMS is going to tell you, your child has been registered and they are either under government or not government. Look at the gender is another thing. We have names like Chisache Grace. Chisache Grace can be male or female. Now, maybe for us in our system, we put them as female, and then they're actually male. You don't want your child to be labeled a male when they're actually female, or the other way around. Look out for all those nitty-gritties. They are very critical, because a name, this biodata is very critical to the child, to their destiny. So let's always be very responsible and make sure we support our learners.
So lastly, as we wind up, on that very point, if I realize, I'll give an example myself, where my name was Edwin, and it turns out Edwin, when results come back, I only realize it was Edwin. It is Edwin when results come back. Is there a window?
You're lucky not called Edwina.
So is there a window for amendment after
Yes.
results have been released?
Okay, before we get to the release of results,
Yeah.
I want to amend now. That is why we are saying display the register. Yeah, the reason for registering. Now, once there's need, thank you so much. Actually, that had skipped me. The moment that you realize that there is a mistake in the budget of your child, it's the time to come and amend. Please inform the school that there's a mistake here. And to the schools, please don't complicate and say, UNEB will not accept. You always tag us badly, please. You are our partners, but don't really don't misrepresent us. You say, UNEB will not do that. That is why we are saying, please, let's hang the registers. Yes, please go ahead and inform us about the amendment through the school. Let the school tell us there's an amendment form on the portal, and download it, and then say candidate XYZ needs to, has a mistake on X on the index, or maybe on the number, on the name, or on the date of birth, or something like that, and we shall be able to make the amendment. So by the time the results are released, we are going to have correct biodata. So please, when you see the mistake, don't just sit back. If they tell that UNEB will not accept, please come to UNEB offices in Tinda, or you can even call us, and then you can be able to get all that and to get that sorted out in good time.
Okay. Kindly give us the numbers and your closing remarks, because it is important for people to know which numbers they'll call on.
Yes. I want to give the toll-free line that people can call on. Toll-free line is 0800 211 077. That's 0800 211 077. The other toll-free line we have is 0800 800 0800 111 0800 111 427. That's the other toll-free line that we have. And then you can also send us a WhatsApp. We have customer care number that you can send. You can send your WhatsApp. You can send messages to. You can send to 0776 865 556. That is 0776 865 556. Or you could send to 0760 731 261. That's 0760 731 261. You can send us you can send us WhatsApp, and then you can be able to respond. Maybe not immediately, but we shall definitely respond according to the traffic.
Okay.
And then you can also be able to, or you can, well, I think that is really that you can, but you can also walk in, just in case. You can also walk in. Feel free. We have offices in both in Chambogo and in Tinda next to police. My last message is to ask parents and all stakeholders involved to make sure we get involved. To the teachers, please do not think of getting these designers Bosasio getting into malpractice, please. For the time that you have remaining, take them through all the remaining bits of the syllabus. The mocks are going to help you establish how far they have gone, and then thereafter take them through. Build their confidence. To all the learners, I know they are able to make it. If you have been able to teach them effectively, they are going to perform according to the competence, according to the ability that they have. So let's guide them. Career guidance is very important. At senior 4 level, somebody should now be looking, why do I want to do this? Where are my competencies? What is my strength? What do I want to become? What do I want to do after senior 4? Do I want to go into a vocational institution? Do I want to go into USCE? What commission do I want to do? So we need to guide them so that we help them build their competencies, build their confidence, and most importantly, let's support them, pray with them, pray for them, let them know that with God all things are possible. I want to thank you so much.
We really appreciate especially the clarity that you have given here. Like you said that people have tagged UNEB negatively. So we think that UNEB is really that bad. But thank you so much for coming to clarify.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity.
So there is a platform for you to raise your concern in case you have it. In case you realize you're not getting service at the center, please reach out to UNEB for clarity. Don't sit there and complain about UNEB that you've never reached out to. So thank you so much for watching from where we started from up to now. Adrian Austin Mkalas is my name. I've worked with Liz and Muhumuza. From the entire team, we wish you a blessed day.
Issues at hand.